It's Funderdome. It's like a mini version of the traditional Who Would Win episode. The combatants will be announced. Ray will then have 1 minute to debate. James will have 1 minute to debate. Ray will have a final 30 seconds of rebuttal, and then the judge will decide who wins. Here's your battle, brought to us today by patron Ken Turner, a.k.a. Bjorn the Viking. Ray, you have Sergeant Slaughter from the classic Sunbow series.
All right.
James, you have Peter Pan with a lightsaber. Ray, you have 60 seconds and begin.
This is rough. Now, Sergeant Slaughter from 80s Sunbow. Now, we all know one of the most important quotes that ever came from there was that Sergeant Slaughter has the constitution of a vending machine. One of the greatest quotes of all time because he's tough. He was so tough and he was such a great fighter and such a great soldier that they literally stole his DNA to put inside of Serpentor. For gosh sakes, they ain't stealing Peter Pan's DNA to keep him young forever. You'd think it would work. No, they wanted Sun Tzu, they wanted Julius Caesar, and they wanted Sergeant bleeping Slaughter to be on in there. Now, we've seen Sergeant Slaughter fight 20, 30 battle android troopers at the same time. We've seen him punch out, I believe it's Monkey Wrench, the Dreadnought, and break his glasses in the opening of the show, week after week after week. Slaughter's Marauders, he's got that little Tri-T tank, and he's going to be riding that into battle. Peter Pan, it's time to grow up and go home because Sergeant Slaughter's got you outclassed.
Wow. James, you have 30 seconds. Begin.
30 seconds or a minute? Oh my gosh.
60. Begin.
All right, listen, you can't put down Sergeant Slaughter at all. And I love Sergeant Slaughter so much that I tried to figure out his finishing move, the Cobra Clutch. And that's one of the moves that I teach in my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu class because it's a fantastic move standing. Even better if you have him in the gift wrap position on the ground. Matthew David, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, with that being said, there's one problem with grappling. You got to get in close to do it. That's not something happening to Peter Pan. When's the last time someone did a takedown to Peter Pan or did a grappling move to Peter Pan? Never. You know why? Because he keeps his distance. He likes to fight far away, hit in and hit out. By the way, he's a master swordsman. Give him a lightsaber. Someone who's a master using a sword, give him a lightsaber who can fly, move at super speed, hit and run, hit you from a distance. He's magic. Magic beats tech, which is something the tank of Sergeant Slaughter is based on. No match whatsoever. Lightsaber, magic, super strength, flight. Sergeant Slaughter's going down. That's all I got to say.
All right. You got 30 seconds to rebut.
Now, one thing I remember about Peter Pan is that he used a dagger. He didn't use a full-length sword, I believe, when he was fighting. Now, what happens when a guy used to a small sword uses a lightsaber that's much bigger? Very real chance he hits himself while he tries to use it. And who could forget the ending of GIJoe the movie? When Sergeant Slaughter went toe-to-toe with a flying, super strong Nemesis enforcer who had wings, who had blades on the end of his elbows and his knees, and Sergeant Slaughter gave him a suplex, hit him with an elbow for the US of A, and threw him in a cliff.
All right, then. Now we go to the judge. Matthew, who wins this battle of Cobra Clutch versus Crocodile Crush, Sergeant Slaughter, or Peter Pan Jedi Knight?
Listen, guys, right off the bat, I was thinking, you can't beat Peter Pan with a lightsaber. That's a pretty tough hill to climb for Sergeant Slaughter. But Ray brought up some really good points. The top of which is imagine like a 12-year-old swinging around a lightsaber and how wieldy that's going to be. The other thing is, we've seen Peter Pan take out like a clumsy pirate, but we've seen Sergeant Slaughter actually take out some people that are like analog, flying, like what you were saying at the end of the movie. I'm going to go Sergeant Slaughter, guys.
That's right. I would have literally been in tears had you said the other one.
We can't be right all the time, Matthew David Red. I'm not talking about me either.
I feel bad because I feel like sometimes I give Ray some stuff that like he knows a little more intimately, but I really thought that the lightsaber would be able to do this one.
Here's the deal. The only thing I can't argue against is the level of opponents. And Sergeant Slaughter took out Nemesis Enforcer, who was the baddest of the bad. What are you going to do? By the way, Cobra Clutch, no joke, it totally works.
Yeah. And as soon as Ray brought it up, all I could imagine is my 7-year-old trying to swing around a sword and beat me. And it's like, that's not going to happen.
Who could have
I-
imagined I would have a lot of knowledge about Sergeant Slaughter? Who could have predicted that one?
I don't know. I feel like Peter Pan, like he's body 12 years old, but he's been doing this for a long time. He
Yeah.
doesn't ever get old. So
He's great
like,
with his sword. He's really great with his sword. But remember, when Captain Hook took on that alligator or whatever with the sword, didn't he have his hand? I've never seen Peter Pan, by the way. I don't know that much about him other than he flies. Man. Yeah. I only watched good
flies.
things.
He flies. Megatron can fly. What part of this is not? I don't know.
I know. He should never
Yeah,
watch
chance.
King Kong.
You know what? This counts as another loss for Megatron, as far as I'm concerned.
Ooh.
This totally tracks.
That's Funderdome. Thanks to the patrons. If you have suggestions for future segments, DM me on Twitter at 999 RPMs.